Hi Year 8. Today I am coming to you with your celebration video. So I've collected and I've been looking at your work over the last half term, 6 weeks of work, which I think has been absolutely fantastic. Given the circumstances that we're not together, you have taken a whole period of history and learnt about it yourselves, and you've been really independent, committed and resilient. So I just wanted to give you this video as a bit of feedback for the whole half term, but all positive feedback, just to celebrate some of the fantastic work you have been doing. So what a fantastic half term for us, 8H2R. We've had virtually 100% submission every lesson. Give or take a few, we've had cases of illness, about all stuff going on, but mostly 100% submission. And many of you, much higher than other Year 8 groups, have been doing enrichment tasks as well, showing that you're really dedicated to history. We've had our history trip to the Colosseum. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you enjoyed Mr. Winders leading that trip. We commemorated VE Day and learned about why that day is so important. We've learnt about the development of rights in the UK and the rest of the world, and you've been really creative and you've really thought outside of the box this half term. How am I going to present this piece of work? And really looking at your museums showed me that you've really developed those kind of independent learning skills and made some fantastic pieces of work. So we're going to have a look through some of those pieces of work today. So we'll start off with our first lesson on rights. Timelines. Okay, I've just picked out a few really nice timelines here. You might recognise your work. I'm not going to name names because that might be a little embarrassing for you. But some really good timelines, giving us a really good overview of what we were going to learn about. And as I said, quite a few of you doing the enrichment task as well. And then we've got lesson 2. You went into a bit more detail and found out a little bit more about the different rights groups, women's rights, disabled rights, black ethnic minority rights, LGBT rights, and you created some really good summaries. And I've just got a few examples there of some fantastic summaries I saw when looking through your work. And then we've got lesson 3. So lesson 3 was when you already knew what happened. Now you explained why it happened. Okay, so you went that a little bit further in your thinking and said, well, this happened because there was a rights movement because of these factors, which is really great. Okay. And then we get onto something a little bit more creative. These are the slightly prettier ones, or the prettier pieces of work. VE Day. So a really important day, and I hope you saw on the news all the celebrations that were going on in the UK, and things like Captain Tom Moore, he was promoted to Colonel around that time. Lots of different things going on to commemorate VE Day. The Queen made a speech, and you created some really good commemorative pieces of work. So I've just chosen a few examples. So we had a few posters. I love the one with the V sign that Churchill made, the peace sign. I love the plane. And we've also got a few different pieces of work that didn't really use art, but we've got a poem over here, which I really enjoyed, and also an interview. So a grandmother who was in the war, which is fantastic. Okay, so some really lovely pieces of work there. And then we went back to rights for lesson 4, and we made some campaign posters, and these were absolutely beautiful, and I couldn't really choose which. I wanted to put all of them on this slide, but I chose a few here. Some ones for women, some ones for LGBTQ+, for disabled rights. Absolutely fantastic stuff. I really loved those. Then we had our school trip, and someone even sent us a backpack. I've cut their face off just to send to keep it anonymous. And we had diary entries where you imagined what it would be like to go to the Colosseum, which is fantastic. And I hope you really enjoyed this trip, and it's a really good way just to have some fun with history, learn about something that you haven't done at Penrice. I don't think you've done the Romans with us. So I really hope you enjoyed that, and there was some fantastic work done there, and I could just get a sense that you liked that lesson, which is great. Moving back to rights, I really liked this lesson because it showed that there was something you were interested in, and you could choose a country to look at and research a little bit more. So this work felt really personal, and I really liked it. We had some people look at the civil rights movement in America, we had some people look at South Africa, some people look at Ireland and Northern Ireland, and you were able to draw comparisons which showed that you understood the campaigns in the UK, and you've done more research to try and compare it to another country, which was really, really fantastic. Well done. And then this is the last two museums that you've been doing this week. So we planned a museum about rights, and these are some of the things you produced to show your ideas. So we had things ranging from leaflets, from PowerPoint presentations, to a real life model of a museum, which I thought is absolutely fantastic. And you really imagined, what kind of objects do you think would make a really good museum for your chosen subject? So really, really fantastic stuff. And I think this is a really good way to end the half term. Okay, so well done everyone. I'm so impressed with your work every single lesson. It continues to grow and improve every single lesson. I hope you all have a lovely half term, and I'll be in contact after half term where we're going to start our final topic for Year 8 history, which is the Middle East. So history of the Middle East, which hopefully a lot of you are interested in already. I know we've been teasing it throughout this year, but we will be having a go at looking at that very, very interesting part of history, something that doesn't really involve Britain, something very world history, and I hope you look forward to that. So thank you very much for listening to the video. I'll be in contact with you again soon. Bye bye.